Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV patch 6.4 housing items in particular, and today we're looking at ones that you can get, pretty much everything you can get from the housing merchant in all of your housing zones that you can access, such as the Mist here, wherever at the Seagaze Market, which is obviously over here in the Mist, and obviously in the Mist subdivision, and wherever else you might live, your housing merchant. So there are a few items to look at, the first of which is actually an exterior item, of which we'll click the show only recently added items, and you'll see it's the railway sleepers, which is an outdoor furnishing. We'll look at that last. It says a rustic ground covering made from repurposed railway sleepers, which is all the rage, or at least it used to be. And the other section that got added to was the other section. If we click that again, we've got two Sky Phasmascapes for 10,000 gil each, the Azure and the Starry, which are both imitation skylights with illusory properties. It says gaze upwards to appreciate this portal to an inviting blue sky, and the other one says appreciate this portal to a star-studded expanse. So one of them night-themed, one of them day-themed. We'll look at those in a moment. And we've got a verdant pillar indoors item as well. It says a pillar crafted to resemble a natural tree, squirrels not included. And then we've got some scattered tomes, which is create an impression of scholarly study with this artfully disordered pile of reference materials for 5,000. So the pillar's 3,500 gil. Let's buy each of these items, and then we'll go look at these together in the house. All right, here we are in our house. This is my private estate, and we've still got those lovely posters on the wall from earlier today from a Mog Station cash shop. We've got some items to look at then. Let's first of all look at the pillar and the tomes. I think that would be a good place to start since they involve less moving stuff around. So this is what the verdant pillar looks like, which is completely ceiling height, as you might imagine. This will look much better in a large plot because you'll see more of the foliage most likely. But in a small plot, this is what it looks like. It's very reminiscent of those, what are those trees called in real life? The bow trees? Bow trees? Boobab. I don't know. You can find them in Australia and places like that. At least I saw something like this when I went over to visit my brother in Australia, so it's pretty cool. Honestly, I mean, was this one dyeable? I don't think so. No, I don't think it would be dyeable. Oh no, it is dyeable. That's surprising. The actual tree itself is dyeable. Huh. I didn't oh, that's really strange. We can make like a red tree. Oh, look at the texture when you dye it. That's definitely a different thing. That's something I didn't expect to be dyeable, but it's cool. It's just this big hunk of wood. Obviously, we've got all of these different wood colors that complement the tree, and then we've got stuff like turquoise, which is weird. It's like we've painted the tree. It's very strange. I like the item, but this is very unexpected dye ability. Not a bad thing, though. Not a bad thing. Maybe we'll want a bright cherry pink tree, but there we go. So that's the first item. Pretty cool. I can imagine a few people using that as like part of their nature-themed thing, especially if they can see the rest of the foliage up there on a larger property. Let's come out of there. So the other item is the scattered tomes, which, as you might imagine, are scattered tomes. We've got all sorts of things there, including like some Ishgard stuff and all sorts of different books. So if you're trying to go for like a studium look, you're going to want these, honestly. There's some really nice stuff already in the game, but this, I think, is the first time we've got proper books on the floor like that. Very nice stuff. And these are not dyeable, are they? As far as I can remember. So, yes. Why would you be able to dye books? Well, we can dye everything else, right, including a tree now. All right, let's look at the other items then, the last two of these housing indoors items. For this, we should be okay in here. All right, let's try out the Azure Sky Phasmascape. So how do these attach? Okay, all right, so they look like normal floor lofts when they're in your hand. They've got nice detailing on the side. Oh no, they're attached to the side of walls. So they're snapped to grid on walls. Oh dear. So you can't actually place them where you'd want to, which would be in the center of your ceiling. You actually have to attach them to a wall like you do any other loft. Although, I will say, regardless of that, well, that's really annoying. That really annoying detail, oh god, I've got all sorts of things in the way now. That looks actually quite stunning, doesn't it? There's the sky themed one. I really like that. Oh my gosh. That's really cool. Look at the light that's coming in from outdoors. Presumably, it's always like that, I guess, even if it's night outside. That produces quite a bit of light. Let's dip the house lights and have a look at that on 0. Wow. That's actually really quite stunning. That's just beautiful. And it creates this square-shaped patch section. Yeah. Look at the clouds going by. It even has like faux cloud effect. Oh, those are really cool. Of course. Oh no, that's my position in relation to it. Maybe I'm creating the dark cloud there. Interesting. That didn't appear when the lighting was set higher, I don't think. No. So it's one of like the meshes for the clouds. One thing I would have liked to have seen, though, if I'm to nitpick about the actual items detail itself, would be nice if the clouds moved. Personally, it's very nice, but surely they could have just had them slightly move very slowly, or just another layer that moved very slowly across them. But from a distance, I can already tell you that hundreds of people are going to be enjoying those. Another detail that's kind of washed out from this because of the house lighting here, and what you're not going to see from that height is, let's put these, oh my goodness, this is so fiddly, please excuse my fiddliness. I wanted to show the detailing on the side of this. That's really nice. You're not really going to see that, and then the wooden edge on that. And then the top, if my camera would let me, is this sort of mottled look. That's really nice. And also, the lower to the ground it gets, the more light is transferred onto the floor. That's interesting, especially considering how people are using housing glitches to create certain effects. But as you can see, oh, look at that. Does that bathe my character in light? Oh my goodness, it does. So these are useful for as lighting props as well for character pictures. See, at that height, the light's perfectly on my face. In that, it creates a shadow. And then on the lower it goes, you can sort of have like this illumination sort of thing. Does that carry on? I presume that goes into G-pose as well. That's really cool. It has this weird sort of etheric line drawing effect at certain angles. Oof, I think I just broke the scenery by doing that, but there we go. Right, let's have a look at the other one then. I'm impressed with that, but like I say, the one elephant in the room is the fact that these are not attachable to the ceiling, which is, funnily enough, where I would find a skylight. But there we go. Let's place that back in our inventory, and we'll look at the Starry Sky one. And after seeing that one, I presume it's going to be the same kind of there. So again, we've got the same mottled effect on the top and beautiful sides with a wooden outline. And if we raise this up, you can already see that the lighting that it's producing is a lot softer. So we've got, it's like the sun and moon minion that were placed into the game to create soft and harsh light. These would be really useful for taking pictures. You put a canvas behind them. This is the new way, I think. Right, look at that. So immediately my first port of call would be to turn the house lights all the way down once again. Sorry for all of the fiddliness. But there we go. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Again, it would be nice if this kind of like, I don't know, maybe the thing I would add to this one is just a little shooting star going across or something, just to make it feel less, you know, fake, basically. But yeah, look at that. So if you want to create like a terrace garden thing, maybe you put these further enough away that you can't really tell because they look a little bit pixelated and then fake up close. But if you put this on like a large property ceiling or glitched it up there or something like that, or created a canopy to go around it, that would look absolutely exceptional. That's really lovely. They've done a good job here. I'm quite pleased with those, actually. I'm really surprised. But yeah, I think one of the other use case scenarios is definitely for soft light for your studios, because it's so hard sometimes to create the correct lighting Look at that. That's awesome. See what I mean? You've got that kind of soft lighting. You had that on the side of your face, perhaps. It's really hard to position right now. It kind of looks just like I'm a ghost at some angles. But yeah, I'm actually impressed. Very impressed. As for using both of these together, that's going to look very strange, isn't it? Not that I can really fit them in this space, like at all. Actually, hold on. There we go. There you go. You see, now I've got a skylight above my bed. Let me know what you think about those items. They're kind of cool. Again, I wish we could use this stuff outside as well. Yeah, also the light shines on every other target as well. The other thing I want to test just before we wrap this section up and go to the last item is, can you actually use these as lofts? Like, do they have a physical platform associated with them? And I would have to wager that they do. Yes, they do. Okay. So if you put these at the right places, essentially these are just lofts with the underside being a skylight. But you could probably find a way using like raising glitches and things to put them in the center of a room. That's really cool. Or maybe the underside of your loft partitions that you already have. Maybe you want them a bit thicker, a bit prettier on the ends. Wow, I can't get my camera to work properly. And have something beautiful below. Because that's the problem. You have lofts and the space below them always looks a bit drab. Not anymore. Not with stars and the sun. Right, let's move on to the island sanctuary and have a look at the last item. So when it comes to these items, I think it'd be unfair to just show them in the small plot. I use the FC plot here so we can actually see the top of the tree. As you can see, the top of the tree actually stops. It's a stump with foliage around that, which is quite a surprise. I thought it would be just, you know, like a big bush on the top that continued, but no, it does in fact have an end with tree rings, which is quite interesting. I suppose you would never see that if you were in a small plot. So other things then, obviously all together there. Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to fit into a frame, I'll be perfectly honest with you. But there we go. That's all of those items together. Alright, here we are over at the Island Sanctuary, which is my new favourite place to show off these outdoors items. And let's place this brand new one, which is the Railway Sleepers. Register that one, because I think I might actually end up using these in the future. And this is what those look like. So as you can see, they are just Railway Sleepers, looking pretty awesome. They're not the biggest things in the world. I would have probably, if I'm to complain at all, I would have liked to have slightly more of them in a row. They make the typical wooden noise. Boom, 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 boom. And they look pretty good, honestly. There's not much to talk about, really, is there? They're kind of just railway sleepers. How do they die is one of the questions you might have. Oh, I thought they were dieable, but they're actually not dieable at all. That's my mistake. So yeah, they're just railway sleepers. If you want to have sort of like stepping stones, there are wooden stepping stones actually available. But if you'd like to have railway sleepers, then yeah, they're really nice actually. I can imagine a lot of people using those instead of the conventional stepping stones, because these are kind of in a straight line and the stepping stones traditionally are not. So there we go. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed a look at these items. Go grab yourself some of these today. There's lots of more items from 6.4 to look at. This is just scratching the surface, and I hope my videos today have been useful and at least a visual guide of things you might want to add to a list of things you want to collect. Anyway, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will indeed see you all next time. Bye-bye.